Welcome to Beastie Besties with Jay and Lo, the podcast where we share publishing updates, apps, and all the new news in our world. And on today's episode, we have some super fun friends joining us today. We have Geena Matuson. She is an awesome branding marketing expert who works with authors. She's going to be talking about what she does and also the upcoming Authorpreneur guest speaker presentation. She's speaking next at our January 20th event at 6 p.m. And then we have Gomez Adams, who is joining us to talk about his new release called Your Caller Number 7, Please Try Again, which is a gem. And so, yeah, let's dive in with our Grateful Force.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we've mentioned on previous episodes that we both moved recently. And, you know, it's the holiday season. And so relocating was not anticipated when my mom booked her holiday travel earlier this year. So Mama Bear's come in day after tomorrow. So gonna have her here. Yeah. So now in the market for a house, doing some house hunting. And so I'm just grateful for my mom coming. I'm grateful for you, obviously, the team, everybody that's been helping me through all this process. And I really love my real estate agent, Carly Solaro. You're amazing. Thank you for all the support and laughter throughout this very interesting process.
Oh, that's awesome. Her last name is Solaro. Some of my favorite people's last name is Solaro.
Ah, there you go.
That's awesome. Let's see. I'm grateful for Windows. And I think when I mentioned this before, you were like, Windows. But
like the Microsoft product?
Yeah. No, I am not grateful for Microsoft Windows. I'm grateful just Windows. When you live in a tiny apartment in New York City, being able to look outside and see what the weather is. And yesterday I sent you a photo of literally a little black rain cloud that was passing by.
Tut-tut.
I can see what time of day it is. Like, my last place had windows, but a little smaller view. It's a little bit better here. So I'm grateful for the window. And then I am grateful for all of our authors. I'm just, every single one is a different adventure. Everyone has a different style of marketing and promotion. It's always something new and fun to learn. And I'm just grateful that we have this. And then I'm really grateful for my own stupid stubbornness, because if I was not so stubborn, none of this would be here. I wouldn't be working for myself. So I'm grateful that I have that trait. It may bother some other people, but it works for me.
It took me a minute to get there, but I'm very grateful for your stubbornness too, because I have my own stubbornness.
I know, I'm like, damn it, we're doing a retreat. We're doing a retreat. I don't know.
Ew, I'm on board. I'm off board. Yes. I'm on board. I don't know. Yeah, so.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, those are things I'm grateful for. And then our intentions. So that's, we start with grateful fors and intentions. The intentions are what keep us grounded. So you may find us stubborn about talking about these things, but it really works.
Yeah. And I mean, in looking at the intentions list, the one that really resonated with me this week is to be mindful of the stories we tell ourselves, right? And I'm in the Denver area. It's a really competitive market, and a house that I was just extremely interested in, priced right, great this, great that, went off market as like the day before I was supposed to go see it. So it kind of crushed my dreams a little bit, and I got in my head about it. And, exhaustion and everything can be a fickle minx when you're trying to think rationally. And I got really upset and, was that little black rain cloud that was probably floating over Laura's building, because that was a day. And I said, hey, listen, I need to take a mental health day today. I need to just sit and deal with this because I'm going to be distracted otherwise. And you were unbelievably supportive of it, of course. But it is just like, yeah, this is just a story. It's just one house. There are going to be other opportunities. And like you and Michelle both said, like, it just wasn't the one. The one is waiting. The one is coming. And, there's always another opportunity, stubbornness be damned, where it's just like, something else is there. Something else is coming. Don't get caught up in the stories.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times the stories is us filling in blanks that, so sometimes it's something bad happened, and then we turn that rejection into like self-blame, or we turn it into like, woe is me. I'm never going to find the right place. I think both of us, when we were looking for a place to rent, were like, it's never going to happen. There's too many scams. And then a week later, we're both like, oh, this place is great.
Yeah. I mean, my place is all windows. It's bright and beautiful and serene. So yeah, completely.
So like, if you can somehow build, this is the intention, build the intention to like recognize the little black rain cloud when it's passing through your brain and say, like, okay, I see you, but I'm just gonna let you float by and keep going and wait for the sun to shine again, because this is like, we do it to ourselves so much. And and I have an example just from last night. I was going to a friend's house and I get there, it's freezing. It's literally like windy, like there's a windstorm that says don't go outside. It's a windstorm. It's 12 degrees, feels like 12 degrees. Ugh. And I get there, no answer. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm just gonna stand out here and freeze to death. And then I'm like, what do? I'm calling. They have a new like phone, like camera doorbell installed. So I'm pushing the thing. Then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for a walk. I assume they have fell asleep and I'm not getting in. And then what do? Do I go home? And then like, what if they call me right when I turn around and get back on the bus to go home? And then I'm like, all right. So I turn around, I go for a short walk in the cold, but I'm like, I'm bundled, so I'm fine. And then I turn back around, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try again. Ring the doorbell. This time I pounding on the door. And then turns out they were just in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be out here freezing. It's going to be whatever. And then I was just like, oh, sorry. I got there just like at a bad moment. So, but we fill in the blanks like, oh, I don't know what's happening, so I'm going to put this in here. And it's always a bad scenario, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think it's because of our, our stubbornness and our solution-based, like we're just both natural problem solvers, right? So it's like, okay, wait, here are 5 safety nets. If this isn't going to happen, what can I do? And and that's why I think when it is something as big as relocating, the story's got a little, a little intense. And it's just, I mean, when we speak with some of our authors and whatnot, they always think that they can't do these books. And I've been telling myself, I can't be a writer. I can't possibly be a writer. So I edit. But it's like, I'm a good writer. I need to start writing. And it's like these imposter syndromes or whatever stories that it's like, throw them out, delete them, start a new page.
Exactly. So for the intention, write down, what stories are you telling yourself? What are those things? Like maybe, hey, here's some homework. Today's intention is to figure out what stories am I telling and which ones do I have facts and which ones are just false and I'm making up information. And
which ones are going in the book. Right. I mean, I wrote like 5 amazing Substack articles this week in my head.
Right. Yes, that's a topic for another time. We're going to talk about imposter syndrome for sure.
Oh, for sure.
New news and authorpreneur stuff. We have like so many things.
Oh, there's so much going on. I mean, clearly we have AWP with a bunch of authors coming with us. In
5
March.
Of them so far. 3 spots available.
Yeah, if anybody wants to hightail it over to Baltimore in early March, got some fun stuff happening. We have a corner lot.
Yes, but let's
shout
right
by the front.
Yes, and we have Rand Timmerman. We have Karen Grossman. We have Avian Swansong, Caitlin, and then we have Ryan Bryson. This is a fabulous group of writers who are, every single one of them, smashing it every day, just like pushing their books, each in their own different way and with their own different reader audience, but they're going to come together in this like author power move. It's going to be awesome.
Like Voltron?
Yes, it's book Voltron, and we're going to take over AWP.
Don't tell, we have a lot of fun and decorations too this year. The stuff that didn't make it for last year, it's going to look like a fun little...
Seriously, if you are an author without a herd, screw tribes. If you are an author without a herd, you should come and have some fun with us, because you're going to have all these different sessions to go to. You're going to be able to come spend time in our booth. You're going to meet our authors, and you'll be and you get a whole free year of the Authorpreneur community. So you're going to elevate just by coming to this event. So
it's tons of fun. I mean, you got to think of like all the different people we've met and things we've done, like, Kat from Fiction and I doing dinosaur interpretations the one year, and just, some of the other just super cool neighbors we've had over the years. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the people at Gnashing Teeth, I hope they'll be there again.
Yeah.
So cannot wait for that. And it's coming up fast.
I know. I can't believe it's almost the end of the year already. This one flew by. I mean,
I know. When this comes out, it will be the first week of January. So, hey, let's go. Get your intentions together. Come to AWP. Let's start the year off right. And we have other things in store for you.
And if your intention or your resolution is to write a book, you know who to call.
Right. So then every month we have new challenges in the community. I can't tell you what the January one was. I can only tell you what the past one. This one is to do lives. So you could catch up and go backwards, I guess, and do this. But if you want to hear what our new challenges are every month, join the community. We do post them online, so you can do them for free if you just want to grab the challenge. But inside the group, you can see updates and update others on what you're doing and kind of like get some ideas, or hey, I'm stuck on this, what can I get help with? And then inside the community, we also have our guest presentation series,
which Geena is going to be our next guest. So Geena's our next guest, and you know, you can get a little taste of her later on in the episode when our friends stop by for a little hang.
That's right. And then let's see, we have our retreat. I think that's maybe the biggest news. The retreat is open. Registration is open. Sign up. It is limited to 30 people, and it's going to be at Greek Peak, which is amazing. Jess, I think you went there when you were a kid.
I went there. I mean, I wasn't a kid. I was a young adult. It was like 25 years ago now, but it was a lot of fun. We did some snowboarding out there back then. And then so you and I went over the summer. It was awesome. Yes.
We're not going to snowboard in the summer, but they are a ski resort and they're open all year. And so they have a mountain coaster. They have a ropes course. They've got an indoor pool. So like if you're an author with family, this is a great retreat, because a lot of other writers' retreats are like adulty and we're just going to sit under a tree and write things. This is more of the, hey, I'm published. I don't know what the hell to do now. So come spend a few days with us and leave knowing exactly what to do. And we even give you a head start. We have sessions where we're going to work with you. So if your website needs to be updated, you don't know how, we're going to twist Geena's arm and hopefully get her to join us. And we have other experts who are going to be with us on site. And Jess and I, of course, will be there to help you with, you know, how do I get this book finished and ready to publish? And how do I've been published? And it doesn't matter who you publish with, you know, as long as you are feeling like you could use the help on how to market and present yourself, we're here to do that. And we're going to do it in this really awesome setting. And we're going to eat great food. And we're going to have a movie on the lawn one of the nights. And like, it's just going to be so cool.
Probably roast some marshmallows. I mean, you can come over and listen to me preach about the Oxford comma and redundancy. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, maybe we can have Gomez come down and do the worst band in the world.
Oh gosh,
greatest hits, and so it's gonna be super fun. So
yeah, I can't wait to talk to him. I can't wait to talk to him about our new band. I mean, what don't we do?
I know. So yeah, go on to our site, check out the retreat. All the information is there. But if you do have questions, of course, you can reach out to us. And I think, is that it? We've got the guest speakers, the retreat, AWP. I mean, that's a lot of stuff we got going on.
A lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, there's tons of fun author events and things. Like, you know, the Herd is up to some cool things and getting out there and doing stuff in the snow even. So you can always check our website to see what.
Yes, there is an events page. Mm-hmm. And Jess Novak, who's published with us before, she's a local famous musician in Syracuse. She is I don't know if we're allowed to say. She's going to announce her.
She's got some big news coming.
Well, she does
in January.
Yeah, she does, but she's also, so it's now it should be the 1st or 2nd. On the 10th, she's relaunching Dare to Begin that she published with us. So that'll be a great concert. And then she's also going to be doing some fun things from the book. And then she has a fire festival. So that is Females Inspire Something Empowered.
Business, yes. Taglines are escaping me. Listen, it's, you know, the brain of, but yeah.
Female Inspired Rock Empowered? FIRE. What's the fire?
That sounds right.
Yes.
Female Inspired Rock Empowered.
Yes. So yes, it's an awesome event. She's been doing this like 3 years. Every year gets bigger and better. So if you're in the Syracuse area or can get there, she's having one on March 8th, and some of our authors will be there at our table. And so you're welcome to stop by and check that out also.
It was so funny after we chatted with her the other day, because, you know, her book, for those of you that haven't read it, it is, you know, I saw a video about The Artist's Way, which I think they're kind of in a similar wheelhouse, but very, very different. And I had tried The Artist's Way years back, and it didn't resonate well with me. And I've been saying I'm going to sit down and do Jess's book because it's awesome. It's like a rock and roll artist's way with a little bit of kind of like Brene Brown and Glennon Doyle and stuff like that. And she's got personal stories in there and writing exercises in ways where it's, you know, dare to begin, stop dreaming, and start creating. So she says, listen, you can do anything. Like, I'm joining a band. I don't even play an instrument. More on that later. But you have to practice. Not everybody is just a natural talent. And she says, I believe it's 10,000 hours that you have to put in to really kind of start, not be an expert, but be proficient in something, we'll say.
Yeah, that's been documented somewhere else and kind of adopted as a standard, I think, somewhere. I don't know where it started. But yeah, that book started from an idea. So most people come to us, I've been writing something, whatever. I actually met with her to record her on a TV show I was creating with my other business partner, and Jess was on one of our episodes for that. So I did a TV show episode with Jess, And then when she was telling me about some of the stuff she would do, and I was like, you should write a book. And she was like, I have wanted to write a book. She had that thing done in 6 months. Like, talk about stubborn. She's worse than me.
Oh, she's amazing though, because after we did the first run through on it, I said, it's great, but I want more Jess. And 2 weeks later, I don't even know, it was like a blink of time, she was back and she just added all this more, like just so much more content and things like that. Like, you know, because it's Dare to Begin. And then she'd put in personal things like how I began, you know, and just kind of gave you a roadmap.
Yeah. She just launched her 14th album.
Wow. She's amazing.
Yeah. She had a child the same year she published her book. She's really pushing the I can do anything.
She's a beast.
Just tell me I can't. She is a beast. Absolutely. Yes. We got to remember to celebrate more beasties on here.
Yeah, for sure.
She's for sure living that definition. But
yeah, it's like that old movie Empire Records when she comes out and they're like, where'd you have time to bake cupcakes? She's like, there's 24 beautiful hours in every day. I'm like, oof.
Exactly. Well, hey, it looks like our friends are here.
Ooh, they are excellent. All right. Now we can talk about our bandmates.
Oh, welcome, Geena and Gomez.
Thanks. Well, thank you. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Likewise. We're going to start off talking to Geena about things that we have going on. So Geena, I met several years, probably 6-7 years ago, maybe, like soon after I moved to Syracuse. And we've just been chatting and realized we both lived there for about the same amount of time. And have since moved on, but we both go back for dental work. Some really strange parallels. And the first one was like when we met, we were both like, oh my God, we're artists, but we love processes. Like, let's bond. And so we still nerd out over websites and branding and marketing and all kinds of stuff. So that's how we met. I don't know if you remember it differently.
Yeah. At the time, I was posting on LinkedIn I was writing a book about artists and entrepreneurs. That's right. And I had my new brand, Art Inspires You, currently undergoing a revamp, but that was like on Newsweek. So I was sharing all this. You saw my post and we just kept going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, you know, we go long periods of time without talking. But then recently I saw that you were working with Mary Jumblick and I was like, okay, she's awesome. You're doing book stuff now. So like full circle around. And then I'm like, okay, I got to connect with Geena. And then I still didn't for whatever reason. And then I'm like, okay, then Karen Grossman, one of our authors who was on our last episode, she's like, I'm working with Geena. And I'm like, okay, that's it. Final. Have to get back in touch with Geena. What's going on? And of course we had an epic conversation.
We reconnected after we both moved or were moving away from Syracuse, right? So that's funny how that works. Yeah.
So anyway, I talked a lot there. You're the guest. Tell us a little bit about you and all the things that you're doing.
Oh, sure. Well, I guess since we met, I've done a bunch of different things. So that book that I was writing, I'm using all the information, research, interviews, all that to inform what I do now, which is kind of what I've always done. Marketing, branding, websites, storytelling, with just anyone who wants to build their brand, but specifically now authors. So that's pretty exciting. I started my company, Geena Media, under which I have all of my little brands that I built over the years. So that's the content consultant. That's the one where I do the content consulting, of course. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And somewhere along that line, you did a TEDx talk?
I did. Yes, I did. Thank you. Great.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. It was called Reject the Disconnect, using social media in a healthy way. Thank you. To connect on a human level, you know? So, yeah. It was about so often we reject ourselves to try to get these false connections, but let's reject that disconnect and make real connections. So
awesome. I love it. I can still find that like on YouTube.
Great message.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, and then the other big news we have is you're going to be our next guest speaker for our Authorpreneur community guest speaker series.
Yeah, and it's in line with all the stuff that I've been doing. It's perfect. So I will be doing, what is it? The power, your branding and the power of an author website. Yes. Right? So that's the Authorpreneur talk in January. I'm excited.
Yes. It is January 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. It is free if you join our Authorpreneur community on the 2-week trial. So if you come to one of our open meetings, you can see if you like it. You get access to all of our resources, previous guest speaker series. I think we're up to like 6 or 7 in the library. And if you don't like it, or you really just wanted to come for free, you can cancel. So there is a free option. I'm sorry people, but this is business. We do capture you. Some people are like, why isn't it totally free? Because we have a business to run. So we would like to join you and get you a little glimpse into our herd. And then if you would like to leave the herd and go somewhere else on your own way, that's fine. Or you can just drop a $20. I think it's $19.99 to come to the presentation itself and just have that and go. So yeah, we're really excited about that. I don't think we've had in the past a literary agent. We've had a couple of different authors talking about, like their tour strategy and stuff like that, but I don't think we've had a marketing branding specific person. So very excited.
This is exciting. I love talking about people building their world, storytelling, sharing it all.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we may need to chat. I've been working on my website for a while here with Laura's other business partner, Aldea. And as an editor, it's just makes nonsense. And there's Nessie the sea monster Aldea put on there and all these beautiful trees and colors and whatnot. I'm like, not exactly what you'd expect from an editing site. But like you said, we need to find our people, right?
Oh,
Be yourself. There you go.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yes,
and stick
thank
around.
you.
We're going to switch over to talking to Gomez. And Gomez is also in Syracuse. He's
Yes.
been doing radio there for 40-something years. And although you don't look it.
Thank you.
But you sound it. When I'm with you in Syracuse, everyone says, oh, I know your voice.
Yes, I get that a lot. But that's good.
Sure.
When they stop saying that, that's the time to worry.
Right. Yeah. So, Jess, do you want to hype up his book a little bit?
Well, I didn't know you because I've spent very little time in the Syracuse area. So my first introduction to you was this book, Your Caller Number 7, Please Try Again. So I got an awesome crash course in Gomez. The book is hilarious. It's absolutely, and you stumped me because I never knew exactly where the stories were going to go. So, I mean, it seems like that's how life's gone for you.
True.
How was the writing process and everything on this bad boy?
It was good. I started it during the pandemic where I just literally, in fact, I'm still a yellow legal pad guy, so I
Nice.
literally started writing it that way, just as I would remember some stories here and there. Some of my coworkers would bring one up I had forgotten about. And then in the process of writing it, then another story would spark a memory. It's like, oh, I forgot about that one. And then it started as just putting stories that I was just going to put on Facebook or on social media just for my, radio friends or whatever. But slowly it just kind of took form. And then I got, like 20 or 25 stories that I just printed out on my dining room table. I just stapled them together and put them in piles. But I didn't know which way. I didn't want them to necessarily go chronologically. Didn't really have to. I just wanted to put them in some kind of order, probably like a musician would try to pick what order the songs on an album.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So I had them all on my dining room table. And this is about a year ago. And I've told Laura this story too before, but I bumped into John Simone, who had written the book Tex through Wildebeest. And I didn't know that. I just happened to bump into him. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. And he, out of the blue, mentioned that hey, I wrote a book about my dad, Tex. I didn't know if it was the same Laura. And it was, and that's when I started working with Jess and Laura, probably in March of this year, really putting it in order and Jess editing it and working with the team there to come up with a cover and some, tons of questions, copyright type things that I didn't know about because, you don't know what you don't know. And then lo and behold, it, came to fruition. And I think October 20th, that's when it,
Yeah. What's your author life been like since then?
It's fun because I had a launch party at a place in town called the Wildcat. It's a big sports pub, pizza place or whatever, but it's got a big, like a private party room off to one side. So I had it there. And then at work, they were pretty cool about letting me promote it. I was a little bit at first because it's like my own thing. It's not really a station thing. So if they heard it, I didn't want them to think I was like, using the airwaves to sell my own thing, to get my own thing going. But once they heard it, they were all very supportive. And so they let me really plug in a lot. So I had a really good turnout there that night. And there was a good, it was supposed to be 5 to 7. And we got there at maybe 4:15 to set up and get things going. There was already people in line at 4:30.
Wow.
And it stayed that way right till 7 o'clock. And so met a lot of people, a lot of listeners, a lot of friends from that part of town. And then since, I was on a local guy's podcast a couple weeks ago before that event. And the guy showed up because he saw that podcast. He didn't hear it on the radio, but he saw it on this other podcast that I was on. I was able to plug it there. So that's how he found out. He came out and he bought a book and, had it signed. So it's been, it's fun. It's like a whole new thing here to learn, but I've been enjoying it.
The book is awesome. I mean, I love it. And, there are a couple love letters to radio in there as well. So, and it's hilarious, but there's also a couple moments where you got me in my feels. I got a little teary-eyed in a few of those in there. So this book has everything, y'all. It is.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Well, and I tried to write it too as I was putting it together in such a way that if you didn't know me or Syracuse or radio, but you'd still pick it up and find the stories entertaining or funny or whatever, even if you didn't know. So I kind of put it together in that way. So a lot of the stories are ones I told on the radio, but they're not radio stories, if that makes sense. They're just kind of fun life stories that happen to be with radio friends that I told on the air. So I kind of took that route with it, putting it together.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's
thank you.
Awesome. And we've just really enjoyed working with you on this, and we're excited for future things. We assume that you must have enjoyed working with us since your wife is also publishing her book with us.
Yes, she is. No, and I've had, and probably this is a common occurrence too, if you write a book or a first book and then people find out about it and they want to know how'd you do that or who'd you go through or, and I've been more than happy to, point to Wildebeest and explain how it works. It's a hybrid process and you can be as involved as you want to be. And they're, that's what they do. And like the heavy lifting part for me, I don't know anything about getting an author page on Amazon or ISBN numbers or that part of the process that's so important, but that's what you guys do. That's where you come in and it's a great team effort. So for, I would say anybody, not just for a first time author, but in general. I mean, especially if it's not like if you're John Grisham, okay, that's different. But, if you're writing books, but you still have another life, another career job that you do, and to have that kind of assistance and team, I think it's a perfect combination.
Well, and we're kind of stuck together now because I'm in the band, right?
You're in the band. Laura,
Yes.
Do you play an instrument?
I do, actually. I have a cello that I knock the dust off of occasionally. So
You're
that would
too
be
good, though. You're not in the band.
I don't know. I don't really I'm probably at like a fourth grade level. So
You're
does
in the
that
band
count?
again.
Yeah.
Gina,
Yeah.
We
So,
should give everyone a
little
little context.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes. What's
I
this
used to
band?
play the flute.
You did?
Gina's in too.
Yeah, and I still have it, and I just got it repaired, so I want to dive back in. It's been a little while. It's been a decade, but
You're in the band.
nice.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. So
Well,
tell us
hopefully we'll see
about
you guys
the
next year.
band.
The band it's a yearly tradition around the holidays, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The world's worst Christmas concert we call it started on the air 2 years ago, where I just found my old trombone in the basement, and then I hadn't played it. And I played it in high school and college, but it's one of those things I just can't get rid of. It's just I don't know why. It's like a hoarding thing. It's like I might need it someday. Well, plus if you have one, going back too, it's probably the last physical thing that I have that my parents gave me. That's like a connection, I guess, like that I want to get rid of it. But I pulled pulled it out of the case, and there's some old Christmas music in there. I was able to belt out like a horrible jingle bells. But then I thought at the time that, I bet there's a lot of other people like me that have an instrument that they just haven't played it in 10, 15 or 20 or more years. Last year, the first time we did it, there was, in fact, a flute player. She hadn't even opened her case in 32 years.
Wow.
It's everybody who came out had a blast. It's just a fun time to play the instrument again. And, but that's where it started from. It's called the World's Worst Christmas Concert and the World's Worst Christmas Band. So next year I might do an album.
That would be awesome. Are there any instruments you're lacking so I know what to pick up and learn to play this year? Like a tuba?
Tuba we could use. There was, we have trumpets are set. We have a lady that plays French horn. She stopped in this year. Flute. We could use like a clarinet or an oboe.
Perfect.
We have some pretty good brass. But people who want to take part, I have a lot of people volunteer to play tambourine and triangle.
Oh.
But I have enough of those.
I've been hot after a xylophone for a couple decades, but needed a reason. Do you have a xylophone?
You're in the band. If you could bring a xylophone,
Gomez making dreams come true. Look at this.
you're in the band. But I'll let you know, like, 'cause we do it once a year at the Christmas time, and then we start promoting it in like around Thanksgiving. But I will give you the heads up. Make sure you get here.
Thank you.
It's fun.
You're
Gina and I
welcome.
will have to schedule our dentist, orthodontist appointments around that time.
Nice
Also,
shiny teeth.
Well, thank you guys for stopping in with us today.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is, this will have already happened, but it is a holiday coming up. So I hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for making time to come by. Before you guys go, what do you have coming up, and where can people get in touch with you? Gina first.
Okay, what do I have coming up? I'm giving a talk on entrepreneurship and marketing and networking at SU, Syracuse University, in the new year. That's exciting.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you can get in touch with me through my main website right now, geenamedia.com, spelled Gina like Gina Davis, Gee.
Awesome. And Gomez?
See, I have a couple of signing events coming up. One at the Barnes & Noble on Erie Boulevard in February 7th, I think. I have one coming up. It's kind of like it sounds weird, but at the Syracuse airport.
Cool.
Well, they've got a newsstand and a bookstore there. And
That's
I thought,
awesome.
okay, well, that's just different. People walking by that might, want to pick up a book before they get on the airplane or whatever. And then a couple of events like that. And one I do some comedy shows here and there. In February, I have a couple of smaller ones locally, one in Fulton and one in Oswego, but I'm going to start bringing my books to the comedy shows. And so after the show, meet me in the back of the room, and I'll be happy to sell you some books and sign them and whatever.
Awesome.
That's how I'm starting the new year out here.
Fantastic. Love it. Well, thank you guys. It's been fun having our friends stop by today, and we'll see you later.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
So it's time for You Heard.
I heard about some stuff. And just so y'all know, because we're talking right now, but we're really heavy into the animal puns. So You Heard is HERD. When we're talking about the new news, it's new like Wildebeest GNU. So you can understand just
That's
how
true. I really
dorky
hadn't
we
thought
are.
about, like, people can't see our beast sheets. We do not have beat sheets. We have beast sheets, and that's what we're going from here.
Nothing if not nerdy.
Yeah, there's no AI here. This is all just us being dumb.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so you mentioned this week a couple of times different AI things that are popping up. No surprise.
Well, it's really funny because I'm always so obstinate when it comes to new technology. I remember when digital cameras came out, and that's a hard word. I was like, there's no way I will ever use one of these, because we were in photography class together in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
P. Bolam.
That was our teacher's name. We'd never call her Mrs. Bolam. We just call her P. Bolam.
Oh, we were such jerks as students.
Oh, such jerks. But I've been seeing some different things where, there's that new, and I haven't researched this very well, so, my ignorance is bliss. But I've seen some things where you can take pictures and it will read the book to you, or you can just kind of have it scan the book and it gives you like a digital Cliff's Notes version of the book, which, to me feels like cheating. But also then, listening to an audiobook on higher speed, I was a little not into audiobooks at first. Now I can't live without them. So
Yeah, and I feel like too that when you first told me about, the ability, like Amazon is allowing the ability to scan a book or ask questions about it without having read it. It's, this is the same argument. People have been anti Cliff Notes, and I don't think now there's something that came after Cliff Notes. I don't know what it's called. And then so this is just like the next iteration of that. So I think there are going to be people that use it and people who don't. There are people, and I'm not going to say cheat versus not cheat, but there are people who go for the shortcut, and there are people who prefer the long journey,
Yes.
And I think we can't stop it. I don't think it's going to stop. If Amazon isn't the one to make this technology happen, someone else is going to.
Precisely.
And it could be good. There's some books I wouldn't have wanted read. Maybe I could get a overview and okay, this sounds cool, I'll read it. But not that the description can't do that, but who knows? I don't know what might come of it, but usually it's not as bad as we think.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've all seen the movies with the AI and everything. Like Ex Machina is one that really comes to mind. And so I think it's been vilified even before it was really brought into our daily life, because we're like, oh, the robots are going to take over. That's why
Terminator,
I always
all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, thank you, Siri, for your help. So when the uprising happens, like, we'll be on the safe side of history. I don't know. But yeah. So what I like to kind of do is, which can be a little bit of not the safest area in the world, is look at the comments and see what people are saying.
Yes.
And at first I was like, oh, that one where you can take a picture and it'll read in a celebrity's voice if you choose, like Will Arnett looking at you. I'll listen to you read all day long. And they were talking, when they looked at it from a literacy standpoint is when I really kind of was like, all right, I'm listening. Let's see what this is. Because if you can't read, it's reading it to you and showing it there. And I know there's a lot of different e-readers and things like that, but I was like, all right, okay, you can come play.
Yeah. Well, do you know what I have found that it's done for me in my writing, like in emails? I'll write my emails and then I have, the Gemini go in and polish it. And I'm like, oh, that's how you're supposed to say it. My grammar is atrocious. So I'm actually learning to be a better writer because I write my thing and then I see it how it should be properly. And I'm like, oh, so now I find when I write my emails, they're actually getting better.
That's good. I mean, I find a lot of errors in some of my grammatical tools, like because I don't know if it's just not grabbing the context or whatnot, but ultimately, I mean, looking at it, because we're all going a million miles an hour doing 5 things at once and, juggling and wearing hats and things like that. So it's like you don't catch a lot of errors that everybody does it. I mean, I edit for a living and I'm still like, oh God, I wrote that. What is like, geesh, I was really on one that day.
Yeah. Well, there's a million ways to say something, right?
Precisely.
So there's no right way. There are maybe some wrong ways, but there is lots of right ways that you can say something, and you can reword things a million times. You run into this with our authors sometimes, like they want to re-massage a paragraph or something 100 times because they can't get it to sound right. But it's kind of like one of those things where you look at it too long and you stare into the light and suddenly you can't see anything. And so there's a point where you need to let it alone. But I just feel like, AI is just, it's the internet. The internet it's going to take over all our jobs. We're not going to have anything. And then as far as books goes, the same thing. Well, no one's going to need to write a book anymore. AI is going to do it. It's the same thing as e-readers. Oh, we're not doing paperbacks anymore. Oh, there's not going to be this anymore. But has any of that gone away? No, it's only gotten bigger.
Yeah, you're so right. And it's interesting, in talking about the rules, and how the rules have changed so much. And, one of the authors I'm working with right now that I absolutely love working with, he's like, there's some different inner dialogue and some kind of supernatural dialogue and some things that are going on in the book. And he's like, how do you feel about breaking the rules? I'm like, as long as we're consistent. And, we're having a lot of fun with it, where it's just, it doesn't all need to be exactly what the rules say anymore, as long as it's clear. And
look at writing changes. Look at Shakespeare and Canterbury Tales. We don't write like that anymore.
Pick up a book from the 70s and read it. I mean, it's like, I was thinking of I Am Legend. I was reading that and it felt so formal, and it's a book about vampires, right? Where it's a different style.
Yeah, we're kind of in this time period where there are no rules.
Yeah,
but the rules are just based on is society accepts, help me out here,
accepts,
societally acceptable,
society people
like.
think it's okay, people like it real good.
Yes, so
socially acceptable.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God,
we'd get there. Acorns,
right? So right now it's kind of acceptable to break the rules a little bit. I think we can, as long as we're consistent about it. And so it's going to change in another 20 years too, but I think AI it might help somebody who can't afford or who doesn't know how to write a book,
Exactly.
Maybe I don't even know how to spell, but I have a story to tell and I can't afford to have someone write it for me or hire a ghostwriter. So I'll just have AI do it. And do we hate on this person?
I mean, there's a million and one ways to get to the different destinations, right? So I have there's a meme I always loved. It was a dining room chair that was sort of turned upside down where the rungs were sticking up and a kid was sort of climbing on it wrong, and it says they can't tell you're doing it wrong if they have no idea what you're doing. Right. And it's just I've always kind of adapted that because my approach hasn't exactly been standard to a lot of things, and I've been criticized for how I hold a pen because it's not correct, but I can still write, and I used to have nice penmanship. So I mean, just because the teachers said it was wrong,
Oh, speaking of penmanship, that is a lost art. My hand, the muscles aren't there anymore, so I can still write cursive, thankfully, but it doesn't look pretty.
Well, I mean, I think too, for me, my hands are just, they're a little swollen, we'll say.
Overworked.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm like, what? Penmanship is terrible. Just speaking about weren't we just talking with someone about the lost art of cursive the other day?
Yes.
And my grandmother did calligraphy. She taught me calligraphy. So
yeah, that was Dr. Braxton. She's our one of our newest authors who will be publishing with us.
I'm excited about that one.
In the next coming months. Super excited about that. We'll share more details later. But yeah, she was talking about that because she also teaches. We got a lot of teachers in our author
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
community.
Just natural teachers, natural storytellers, guides, things like that. We got a good crew.
Yeah.
I did something nice for myself that I'm really excited about. As some of you may know, I lost my house in the hurricane last year, so I lost a lot of my books. And I found two of the first copy of The Last Unicorn that I had as a little girl and the first copy of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland that I ever had. It was so hard to find because it actually has illustrations with the guillotines and stuff in it. Like when you hear the queen saying off with her head, you don't think of a guillotine, but this one was kind of dark. And I finally figured out the versions of it, the editions, and found them, and they're coming this way in the next couple of weeks. So I'm stoked.
That's awesome.
So I'll definitely be showing them off in a future episode. I know y'all are so excited.
Fantastic. Yeah, so our tips for today. Do you have anything for editing off the top of your head?
No, not really. I just think I think in the new year or just now, starting now, I really need to get more organized because I have my notebooks that I write in because I'm kind of old school when I'm editing. And I have about 5 I use at once. And now it's just like, I think I want to start just getting a little more linear with the process and taking a note from my lovely business partner, Laura, and using one book and writing in it and keeping everything cohesive instead of being so scattered with notes and things all over the place, just kind of bringing it all together. So I'm not spending my time looking for things and I can be a little bit more productive. So for me, it's just streamlining the process a little bit more this year is what's something I really want to work on personally.
Awesome. Any tips for actual people writing their books?
Well, I mean, as Gomez was saying when we were chit-chatting with our friends, it's like, he had these stories, he wrote these stories and he printed them up and he stapled them together and just had them sitting on his dining room table, right? So it's like, whatever your process for organization is, I like to have a tangible thing in my hands. So I'm not the most at using and there are notes and things like that, but we've had a great time collaborating on Google Docs. I think it's a great organizational tool for not a lot of money. I know another editor was like, oh dear God, how can you work in Google Docs like that? You actually let them in there with you. I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Like it's a team effort
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for my side of things, the business and marketing and stuff, I think we had a conversation earlier this week about, when we were talking to Jess Novak, it's like, how do I sell my books? First of all, selling a book is a lot more difficult than just talking about your story and people will go buy your book. That's one thing. But the other thing is I just keep in mind how people buy a book is a little bit different. Same, but different than how people buy a frozen pizza or something else, other products. Books take a lot of referring. They take a lot of personal interest. There's a lot of books, my friends, I have a lot of readers in my friend group and, Jess will suggest things to me. I'll suggest things to her. And I'm likely the first time I hear it, I'm just going to go, oh, that's cool. I'll read that. And then nothing happens. If it goes into a note, it might go a note that I never look at ever again. It might go into one of the I have a list on Amazon. I have a list on Audible. It might go in one of those lists. But then it also has to get to a point where I'm actually going to read it or I have an Audible credit to buy it. And then, and then I might actually get it. I have books that I have ordered that are packed away on a shelf. And so books don't have the same initial immediate traction as something else that someone's going to just buy and consume and use immediately. They are something that people sort of savor, and I need to have 4 different people recommend it to me before I actually go buy it. And then, like I said, even if I do buy it, I still might not read it yet, which means I'm not then recommending it to anyone else until I've actually read it. So it takes a lot of time to build this momentum. I say this because if you're feeling like, oh my God, it's been a month since I published, or 6 months, or even a year, and nothing is happening, you have to keep going.
So much so. I mean, and even, you and I talk frequently, and you've recommended, it took you how many years to get me to read the 4 Agreements? And then now it's like, what's the Let Them theory, Mel Robbins, right?
Yes.
And it's like, I heard her on a podcast. I loved what she had to say. I wanted to hear her book. And then it's like, you recommended it and had sent me a couple clips from it and things like that. And it's like, I wanted to read it. But my Audible account has been defunct since March, as everyone will hear me preach about. Like, looking at you, Audible, come on. So it was like, as you said, like the Audible credit. And it's like, I didn't have one. So, I didn't listen. And now that I've gotten Libby, yay, I want to listen to that book. But it's like, even knowing it, knowing I wanted to listen to it and having it be recommended from a handful of people, I still haven't pulled the trigger on like getting the book. So
exactly. So just as an author who's trying to sell your books, keep that in mind. It takes time, and you might think like, oh, I asked for a review once, ask again and ask again and ask again, because that's the same thing. People, oh, they have intentions of doing it and then they don't. So if a friend said, oh, I'm going to buy your book, don't be afraid to ask them, did you buy that yet? And so it's, you have to like, you got to almost push it, especially in the beginning, to try and get the traction that you're looking for. But just keep that in mind, that there's a lot of different steps involved in promoting, pushing, selling a book before it actually is going to get any momentum. So hopefully that is a little bit inspiring, or maybe you feel a little, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was feeling like a loser. You're not a loser. This is normal part of book publishing marketing process. It's nothing to kick yourself over. Just keep going.
We'll have to reshare that author. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but in talking about how it didn't really get traction on their books until like their 4th book. And then now they're on their 11th book. And, you just have to just keep swimming, right? You never know. I mean, the market is so temperamental. You never know what's going to go viral or what's going to be the next big thing or anything, but just find a process that works for you. And just be ready to step outside your comfort zone a little bit, I think. I mean, podcasting wasn't exactly in my comfort zone, we'll say. And here we are.
Yeah, that author is Jillian Author on Instagram.
Yeah. Just very vulnerable about the process.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. And this is, so if you are doing that, like, kudos to you. This is not an easy space to be in. First of all, you've published something vulnerable, probably. You've put something out there that you pour your heart and soul into, and now you're trying to promote it. And if you are doing this day after day and getting what feels like little results, just know that you are taking the right actions and steps. And you can always join us in the Authorpreneur community if you need some help and some people to run with.
Exactly. Little support from the herd.
That's right. All right, we're getting close to the end of our time. Eggcorn of the day. I heard one this week. It was on an Instagram reel. Somebody was talking about, I don't even remember anymore. They were talking about the direction, things you need to do to go in the direction of your life that you want or whatever. And he said, okay, we're just going to put a fork in that idea and move on to the other thing. I was like, I think you mean put a pin in it.
Yes. Stick a fork in it. I know it was, I mean, for those of you that don't know what eggcorns are, because I didn't know I didn't know there was a word for it. It's where people kind of maybe just slightly alter idioms and things when they say them. I mean, one that a friend of ours said, it was like, doesn't pass the mustard. So they're just silly little sayings and things in life that make us laugh. So
yeah, they just make you giggle. That was one that caught me this month. Yeah. So if you are listening, you want us to answer a question about publishing, if you have a question about us, you've got anything, or you have a story about one of your Beastie Besties. So this podcast, is part Authorpreneur and part Beastie Besties. We want to hear stories about best friends who are starting companies, best friends who've done something cool, hiked the Appalachian Trail, whatever it is. If you would like to share your Beastie Bestie story or someone else's, just hit us up at info@wildebeestpublishing.com. And I think that's all I got. Anything from you, Jess?
Nope. I mean, just always remember to high five your homies and pen your pages, and we'll catch you next year. Well, I guess this will be next year when this is on. So hope y'all had a great holiday season and hit us up.
Yeah. Have a great 2026. I almost said 22.
Let's go back. It's fine. Bye.
Bye.